not bad to have every single day. And there are people I know that eat that stuff every day. And that's idiotic. In my belief, that's idiotic. You know it's bad. You know it's devoid of real nutritional value. And one of the problems that some countries, why they hate the culture of the United, they don't necessarily hate the United States, they just hate the culture, because we're exporting the worst part of our culture. We're exporting McDonald's and Kentucky Fried Chicken, and we see that in countries like Japan that have significantly, by their standards, have adopted some of these types of culture imports from the United States. They're finding a rise in certain United States diseases like heart disease. Japan is seeing a rise in heart disease. Well, why? Because we've got a lot of these fast food chains that have infiltrated Japan. And the Japanese aren't particularly liking this. But I don't oh, maybe. Well, there is a place, and this is from CBS Los Angeles. Of course, it's out in California. That thinks that they have a great approach to fixing the problem, so that in the future, in 10 or 20 or 30 years or so, you're not going to be able to have a reality show called My 600-Pound Life. You won't have a reality exercise show called The Biggest Loser. I'm sorry, folks, I don't. But in any case, we are back. Somebody doesn't like what I'm saying, obviously. They tried to infiltrate. But in any case, there are these people out there in California that are trying to eliminate the possibility of, and I don't know why these shows are so popular, actually. There are people that have become big celebrities in their own right. Jillian Michaels, she's the Biggest Loser? I don't watch those shows. I have never seen an episode of The Biggest Loser. Is that what it's called? Yeah. I've never seen an episode of it. I'm sorry, I haven't. It's kind of like, and I know I hate using this phrase or term, to me, but to me, it seems like we're doing the same thing for morbidly obese people that we're doing to drug addicts. You put yourself into that position, and now all of a sudden we're supposed to, because you're getting yourself out of it, we're supposed to, like, the celebrities that go in and out of drug rehab, and we're supposed, they're so brave to go into rehab and to come out and talk about. No, BS, they're brave. Don't put yourself in that position in the first place. Really? This is so we're not going to celebrate the people who never get involved in that kind of stuff in the first place, but we're going to celebrate the people who chose to get involved in that type of behavior. And then, usually because they're forced by somebody else, not by their own hand, they go into rehab to get rid of the drugs or to lose the weight. And we're supposed to celebrate them for that. Really? No, I'm not playing that game. And some people may say, well, Rod, that's just cruel. I'm not being cruel. I'm being a realist. Because nobody told you to take the drugs or to eat too much. And then if you get a doctor or a friend who tells you that you've got to lose the weight or stop taking the drugs or you're going to die, that is not you taking the bull by the horns yourself and getting help. You're getting help because somebody else is basically forcing you to, because they're telling you you're going to die if you don't. Not you waking up one day and say, oh boy, man, that's not usually the case. But now is, we've got liberals who are jumping in on this, and they're trying to blame certain, it's Monsanto's is the criminal, making everybody fat. It's Monsanto. No, don't get me. Monsanto is not a godsend of a company. I'm not defending Monsanto, but you can't blame Monsanto for everything. Really, you can't. Because you have the choice of eating the food that Monsanto produces, or you don't eat it. Nobody's forcing you to. Yeah, I see all these pages and stuff, and all these articles and stuff about this blasting Monsanto does this, Monsanto does that, Monsanto develops this type of GMO and that, and then people go out and buy the Monsanto food. Like, well, why are you even talking about it and blasting it if you're going to still go out and support the company and buy that food that you hate so much? It's mind blowing. I don't buy that crap. Maybe that's why I'm not. Well, Rod, you don't know sometimes. Oh, yeah, you do. It's called doing your homework or doing your research. I don't know why we think that we're supposed to let somebody else always tell us what is and isn't. I mean, that is the laziest society possible. If you don't know where your food is coming from or how you're getting it, why don't you find out? Find out for yourself. I'm just a person who doesn't like excuses. That's all. I'm telling you like it is. It's an excuse. And if you're going to use any excuse, you might as well use any excuse. Plain and simple. But at the same time, because we are using excuses, we're now allowing stuff like this to happen out of California. Again, from BS Los Angeles. A school takes a unique approach and has kids invested in eating well. And you're thinking, well, what's wrong with schools telling kids how to eat well or teaching kids how to eat well? Well, their approach is they've gone vegan at a school. And here's the story. What they're doing is that they're actually teaching kids how to grow their own food. Nothing wrong with that, but this is a program that is thought to be the first of its kind in the country. The school recently adopted an all-vegan lunch menu as part of their curriculum. The students learn how to create food from seed to table. Now one of the students says, everything we grow, we pretty much eat for lunch, he said. Now, Paul Hudak, Hudak, who runs the program at Muse School, works closely with the school's master chef. I didn't know schools, but okay. Works closely with the school's master chef to prepare a variety of vegan choices for the kids. He said, we have kindergartners eating kale. Now, there have been some reports, and more are coming out lately, about eating too much kale. How it's Look it up, folks. I'm not making it up. Kale is all of a sudden this, it's this in food. It's new superfood. But evidently, kale is not all that it's cracked up to be if you eat too much of it. And people are juicing the hell out of kale. And that's one way that you can get too much kale. Not, evidently, it's, I don't know, kale toxicity, I guess. But hey, Here you go. This school is. They say that we have kindergartners eating kale, and I don't know what. And this guy is saying I didn't know what Hudak is saying. I didn't know what kale was until I was 19. And he says that eating kale really expands their palate, in part because they own it and they grow it. Once they plant that seed and they grow it through, they are deeply invested. I love this how they invested in this. So before rolling out the new menu this school year, the staff held lectures and seminars to educate parents about it. Ultimately, the school decided going all vegan was the right choice. Now, here's the problem. No off-site food is allowed onto school grounds. Everything is plant-based, and the school believes this process educates the kids on health and making better food choices. They can't make any food choices because you're not allowing them to make any food choices because you're only allowing them to choose from a certain type of food. There is no food choice here. They can't even bring in their own food. Do you hear what I'm saying? You've got a school in the Los Angeles, California area who's decided to go all vegan. Not only have they decided to go all vegan in their own lunch counter, but every kid in that school has to eat the school lunch because they can't bring their lunch home from home. They've just taken that choice from them. They've taken the choice, and the parents are falling for this, by the way. Look, trust me, we have this militant vegan vegetarianism a wing of the population that is just, where there was something this stuff all over the place, because I'm all over the internet and reading and viewing and all this kind of stuff just for you so I can bring it to you. And sometimes I get stuff and I see it and I file it away, but the only problem with filing it away is that in my own head, I don't remember where I saw it, but I know I saw it. And then I have to do an extensive search to find it again, and I don't have time to do that on the air, which is why I need a producer. Somebody who can do this stuff while I'm on. There was information about how in certain plants, certain farm standards, and these are even natural farm standards. In certain cases, certain plants are worse than raising cattle. But the story was very honest and intricate. And by the way, the story about Rand Paul, I did look it up. The story evidently was a rehash from something back in early 15. And it wasn't really about Ron Paul endorsing Ted Cruz over Rand Paul, supporting Cruz and some of his positions, because some of Cruz's positions were the same positions. A news story about Ron Paul endorsing Ted doesn't mean it's not. It is true. There's some families. How do you Rand Paul acolytes feel? Ron possibly thing Cruz over his own son. Reality. As long as Rand is still in the race, I don't see how that would really. Very close in a lot of, in almost all of their major positions. But in any case, so one of the students said the other day we had tomato soup and I grew the rosemary that's in the soup So they're making. Is it good to make kids excited about being, I guess, gardeners and farmers? There's nothing wrong with that. But to educate kids on better choices and then not give them a choice, is that really teaching them? I don't really think it is. Of choices, people have signed up for the Affordable Care Act are paying through the nose. They're paying $500 or more a month for. Now, the government wants you to think that you don't have a choice in this, that you've got to have this. You've got to have, an Obamacare policy. But there is a way out, and you don't have to pay the outrageous fees, the outrageous fines, or the outrageous deductibles. Just go to stopobamacaretaxnow.com to avoid being punished with a tax fine, a fine tax, whatever they want to call it. Just go to stopobamacaretaxnow.com to help you find out ways of stopping the government from raping your wallet. Say no to Obamacare. Say no to it legally. Find out how you can say no legally without Congress stepping in and doing what they should be doing, because they're not currently. Find out how you can take matters into your own hands by going to Stop Obamacare Tax Now. And that's www.stopobamacaretaxnow.com.